Hello, welcome back to another video. For those that are new here, hi, I'm Ollie. I'm a writer. I'm currently writing my first novel, which is a science fantasy novel. So as I was saying in the last video, I've basically been on like a 4-month break because of various things which I go into in that video. So I'm trying to get back on track with my writing and with everything in my life because I am way off track with things. Just to illustrate just how off track I am, I did something which I haven't done yet since doing these videos for the last year, which is I went back to have a look at what I was saying in those videos that I was making back in sort of August last year. Because in the process of me trying to get back on track with this novel, I'm really trying to avoid repeating myself and repeating sort of mistakes that I maybe have made in the last year or so and more. The big mistake, I feel, is setting myself goals which I didn't follow through on. And so in the spirit of trying to avoid making the same mistakes again, I went back and looked at a couple of videos that I made this time last year just to see what I was saying. And yeah, wow. And the big lesson that I've taken from it is that I'm really inconsistent. And that's what I need to try and fix. There's a bit of a theme going through my life at the moment, which is trying to get my shit together, basically. And so when I sat down to record this video, what I was gonna do was set myself a target, which I have done in the past if you've seen my other videos, and I've blown right past them, making very little progress. But I'm kind of picking up on this energy in my life at the moment, which is that I need to actually get these things done, because otherwise I'm just gonna keep going round and round in circles and I'm never gonna actually finish this thing. I feel like I've got some momentum at the moment, partly because after this break, you know, I got this amazing opportunity to be on the radio, which I talk about in the last video as well. And I was interviewed on BBC Radio where they talked to me about my writing. And I even did a reading of a story that I wrote a couple of years ago. And that's given me like a real boost of confidence to actually, you know, take it more seriously and get this novel done, because I think it's a good story that I'm writing here, and I just want to get it done so you can all read it. And after I did the interview, Nina, whose show it is, said that they'd even want to keep in contact with me and just see how the novel's going, and maybe even talk to me again in maybe 6 months' time or something. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's in my head, I'm thinking that what a great incentive to get this story finished, because I could totally get it done by then. So I'm officially saying I have a new goal. I have a new target. This will be the final target to get this draft of the story done. Please everyone, hold me to that. Bookmark this video or something, because I'm serious about this. I promise I'm serious about this. Okay, so this video is about sort of recentering myself on this novel and letting you all know where I'm at with it, being honest about it, and finally setting a new target, basically. So at the moment, I'm about 54,000 words into this draft. My initial target for the finished story was to do 70,000 words, because that's like a short novel, and I thought that was a good length for the story as it was in my mind at the beginning. I'm almost about 3/4 of the way through the story as I see it in my head, and it is actually going really well. I think it's going some really interesting places, but I don't think 70,000 words is enough. So I'm setting a target of 80,000 words. I'm not too worried about if it goes over that or under that even. I think it will probably go a bit over that, but that basically means I've got 25,000 words left, and that feels about right, knowing where I am in the story. So I'm trying to plan a deadline that is realistic, but also isn't, you know, too far into the future. So I've decided to set myself a 3-month deadline. Now I'm going to use a website called Write which I've talked about before, and I'll put a link to it down below the video. But I'd really recommend it if you need some kind of help setting yourself a deadline and word count goal. And also if you're not very good, like me, at making spreadsheets, because I'm not very good at that. So yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but Write basically presents you with a calendar. It's quite simple, really. It shows you along the top, basically, what your total target is and where you actually are and where you should be. And so it's 3 lines that show you that. And so I've set myself a deadline of having this basically first draft, it's still the first draft, of the story finished by November the 30th of this year. I think that's really doable if I take it as seriously as I want to take it, but it also allows for some kind of leeway. So there will be days when I can't do any writing, and there will be days when I just have too much of my other work to do. The great thing about Write is that it tells you how much you need to do per day based on how much you've done so far. So at the moment, if I write every day between now and November the 30th, I'll need to do 265 words per day, which is super doable. That's really easy. I could totally do that. So at the moment, we're at a point in the story where I was actually stuck for quite a long time because I didn't know how many kind of fantasy elements I should really be having in this story, because I wanted it to feel sort of quite grounded still. Yes, it's set in its own world and on a different world. It's not set on Earth, but I really wanted to make it feel as real as possible. I wanted it to be something where the sort of magical, mystical, sort of science fiction even elements felt mysterious. I saw an interview with George R.R. Martin where he expressed how he feels about magic in fantasy in a way which I totally agree with, and I've always believed this as well, is that if you have a magic system, which is a magic system that has set rules and everything like that, then that's not magic anymore, it's just fake science. There's nothing wrong with that at all if that's what your story needs and that's the kind of world you want to write. But the magical elements in my story are like quite central to the story itself, but I want them to feel kind of baked into the world, and I want it to almost feel like you're never quite sure if it's magic or is it just a coincidence, or is it something else going on, or is it in people's heads even. I basically wanted the sort of magic in my story and in the world that I'm writing to feel very hidden in the shadows, you know, just around the corner. You know, you're never sure if it's really happening or not. Is this real, what's being experienced by the characters, or, you know, what is it? It needs to be mysterious, basically. And that's always been kind of one of the bedrocks of this novel that I'm writing. So I got to the point in the story where I still am now and where I've been stuck for a little while, and suddenly there were these sort of creatures appearing which felt very, very fantasy and weren't part of my original plan for the story. And I got a little bit freaked out because I was like, okay, is this going to be too much? Is this stretching the believability of what's happening to these characters here because I haven't laid the groundwork for it? But I've just decided to not worry about that, especially in the first draft. I just need to get it done. And actually just letting myself write these creatures which have popped up, it's actually presenting all new things which I would never have thought of in the story itself. I don't know if I'm still going to keep them in the final version of the story, whatever that ends up being. But basically, my fears about making something too fantastical was becoming a roadblock to me actually finishing this first draft. So I've decided to just not worry about it and just keep on writing and get those 80,000 words done. So my task today, and I want to do this today, is to get past this scene which I've been stuck on. Just keep writing, get past it. I have made some good progress since the last video I did, and I just want to keep that progress going. So yeah, that's my plan today. I need to get a bit of work done, but I'm gonna go and do some writing really soon, get a good few hours done, and I will check back in later on and let you know how that's gone. Also, I'm really sorry that I can't give much information about the story. It feels like I'm being very vague when I talk about it, but I just, you know, if you happen to read it at any point, you know, whenever it's available, I just don't want to spoil anything for anybody, and I want people to come at it fresh, but I still want to be able to talk about it as I'm writing it. So it's a fine line I'm treading here. So I hope you understand. But yeah, I think I'm going to go to the library soon. It's actually feeling quite autumnal. Autumn's like my favorite time of year, and when it gets to sort of mid-August, I always kind of start to will the autumn towards me. Yeah, I'm beginning to kind of smell it in the air, and I've seen a couple of pumpkins around just growing in people's gardens. So yeah, sorry, that was a weird autumn sidetrack there. But yeah, anyway, let's get on with it. Did quite a bit of writing just then. I think it went pretty well. Yeah, I'm still getting back into it, but I finished that scene I was talking about, so that's good. Yeah, we can go home, organise what I did a bit, because it's a bit of a mess. Yeah, that's pretty good. Not sponsored, by the way, but you know, I'm open to it. Rio, call me. Yeah, just got back from writing. So the library was closed, which is where I would normally go. So I just went to a cafe. Yeah, I blew past my daily goal, did about 1,000 words, which is really good. Yeah, so as I was saying before, I finished the scene that I was talking about before, which is good because I feel like I've gotten past that bit now. I don't know if I'm totally happy with it, but I'll come back to that later, it's fine. The most important thing is that I'm past it now, so that's good. But yeah, just wanted to do a quick update today, really. Again, I'm just getting back into the swing of these videos. Yeah, I've got lots of plans for the future and lots of different kinds of videos, maybe some streams as well. I might dip my toe into the stream. I didn't. I'm quite proud of that. But I just wanted to check in today, just a quick one. Oh, I forgot. I got permission from the BBC to post my interview that I did on the radio about my writing and about me and my writing journey. So I'll be putting that up maybe in the next couple of weeks. It's still on BBC Sounds at the moment, which I'll put a link to below the video. So give that a listen. I think I start about 13 minutes in, but I'll put that timestamp below as well. I think it's about 20 minutes in total. I've got 2 parts. It's about 20 minutes. And I'm also going to be putting up the reading that I did of the story that they featured in full on my channel. I'm going to be putting it up as a kind of audiobook for people to listen to, obviously. And I've got a friend of mine making some art to go along with it. Hopefully that's going to be up in the next couple of weeks as well. So yeah, lots to subscribe for and look out for as well. Before I forget, look how cool this book cover is. I found it in a little independent bookshop here in town, and it's just so cool. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. I just love these old sort of 1970s, 1980s sci-fi fantasy book covers. Like the art on them is just so over the top and so fun. You just get such a glimpse of the kind of world that it's set in. It's just sat on my desk, thought I'd share that with you. So we're on track, November the 30th. Remember, please hold me to that because someone needs to. Yeah, let's just get this book done, shall we? Shall I? Yes, I will. Okay, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment as well to say hello. And if you're writing something as well, let me know how that's going. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you next week. And bye.